Steady D. If it ain't going down at the Bunny Ranch, it ain't going down at all.
It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down, going down, going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch.
It's always dancing.
Just always dancing.
Like this?
Just little, yeah. Little dances.
Little dances.
Little dances. Yeah, exactly. Little shoulder movements.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Bunny Ranch podcast. I'm James, and today we have the beautiful, the wonderful Ryan Taylor from Bunny Ranch.
Hey, y'all.
Who we were just dancing.
Yeah. Always got to be dancing.
Do you ever play Just Dance? The video game?
Yeah, I was not good at it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really good at it.
No, okay.
It's just, and especially if you're drunk and playing, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
That I think I would probably enjoy it more. I'd be less stressed about it because playing it, I was always very stressed. I'd be like, oh my God, okay.
I gotta hit the, like Dance Dance Revolution, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
DDR is, I go to a arcade at home, and it's a Japanese theme arcade, so there's a lot of like DDR ones there. And one time I was there, and I was wearing a tube top like this, and there's a lot of jumping in DDR. And my top slid down, and my friend was like, your boobs are out. Like one boob was just out. And I'm like at this like public arcade, and I was just like, and then I'm trying to play, and I'm like holding my top and like jumping around. So now I definitely make sure I have full support where if I'm going to the arcade and I'm gonna play it.
Oh my God.
Also, I'm also terrible at DDR. Super stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. Long time ago, it was decent, not good, but decent. I can at least get past like a little bit of it. But let's backtrack a little though. Who are you?
So I'm Ryan Taylor. As you said, I'm from Bunny Ranch. I've been at the Bunny Ranch, coming up on 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, February will be my 5 years. Originally from Florida, I live in Colorado now. An animal lover. I'm an artist in my spare time. I'm also a florist by trade. So everyone knows I love getting sent flowers at the ranch. I'm always like, I need flowers in my room. I always have fresh flowers. You had like, what,
2 sent to you the other day?
Yep, 2 sent.
I was like, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never been sent flowers. And I'm like, she got 2 in one. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah,
she shows up for less than a week and 2 flowers are sent to her.
I love flowers, and everyone who has ever seen me or like follows me on Twitter or anything knows that I love having fresh flowers. I always have them in my house. Every week I go and I get new bouquets or I make them myself, and yeah. Yeah. But I'm a pretty easygoing person. I think so. I think I have a good sense of humor, pretty intelligent. This feels so like self-masturbatory. I'm just like talking about myself.
I mean, it's a show, like the show is about you. So
You're
yeah,
right, it is.
You are supposed to talk about yourself. Well, how about like those animals though? Because you were talking before the show, because I remember from previous, all the other things you used to have, but you said you have now a tortoise and a cat.
Yes. So anyone who's watched like previous podcasts or knows, I'm a huge animal person. I used to have 9 pets, including rats and mice and geckos. Unfortunately, they don't live very long, so they pass away. So what I have now is I have a cat named Stinky who loves to cuddle and gives kisses on command.
Is he stinky though?
No, she's not. Her name is Stinker technically, but we just call her Stink or Stinky. And then I have a sulcata tortoise. So it's the tortoises that get like this big.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's only about this big right now. Her name's Calamity Jane, and she just like wanders around my house. Like she has like at night she goes in her enclosure. Yeah. But she just like wanders around my house, and it's just this tiny dinosaur that just walks around all day and eats kale and carrots.
And they live for
like 100 years. Yeah, she's going to outlive me. She'll eventually have to be, if I have children, maybe my children will take her. But if not, she'll be donated to like a rescue of some sort. But yeah,
they get huge and they live for like 100 years or more.
Yeah, and she's a rescue too. I rescued her because I always wanted a tortoise. And then I had a friend who had rescued her, and she's like, I can't keep this tortoise. Like, what am I going to do? Because my friend is in her 70s. She's like, 70-something years old, I don't need a tortoise. And I was like, I need a tortoise. What do you know? I'm in the market for one. So that's how I ended up with the tortoise.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, back when we did the original first season of this show, you know, you blew everyone out of the water with quantum physics.
Yes.
I know I call it astrophysics all the time because I mix the two up. You know,
Very different things.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I know. But for those who haven't seen that episode, make sure you guys go watch it. But explain what that is.
So quantum physics, I tell everyone to kind of like get into string theory, and it's hard to explain, or for me it's hard to explain. But string theory is kind of where you start. But quantum physics is a study of like, if you think of Marvel and like the multiverse. Mm-hmm. So kind of like that, and parallel universes and things like that, and how I like to talk a lot about how we're essentially vibrating in between another universe at the same time. Okay. Because particles vibrating, if like this one's vibrating at this speed and this one's at this speed, we can be existing in the same space, but we're passing through each other because we're not vibrating at the same speed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because different, yeah.
But I love talking about how there's like parallel universes and like we exist on every plane. I love the phrase like, if it can, has, or will exist, it does. And it's all theory. We can't prove it, which is kind of like the frustrating part. Mm-hmm. And it makes it difficult to understand because it is all theory and there's a lot of holes in some of the theories, like any science-based stuff that you can't prove.
Well, yeah.
But I do. I was actually just talking about quantum physics yesterday at a party. My famous story is I explained it using a shot glass and cherries. And how, like...
continue with this.
Okay,
this.
so you have a shot glass
I want to know this.
Fill it with cherries. There's empty space in there, right? So in that empty space, other cherries could be existing in a parallel universe. And so it's frustrating to explain.
No, because there's sections of it that are the gaps in between the cherries. Yeah,
so the gaps in between, like the cherries represent like particles. Mm-hmm. And so in that empty space, because particles are in theory circular, not in theory, they are circular. So like if they're existing here and here and here and here, there's like this little empty spaces like right here where they're not touching. Okay. And that empty space leaves space for other particles that are vibrating at a different speed to be there and exist. And I just love the idea that like in a parallel universe, we'd be flip-flopped. Yeah. Like I'd be the guy and I'm still Ryan Taylor, but I'm you doing the podcast.
That's true.
And you could be me.
Yep. There could be 1,000 different infinite.
Infinite, right? Yeah. Infinite versions of anything going on.
So, with that, because you said different parallel universes, and are you watching like anything about those on like Netflix, YouTube, Hulu?
I'm not. I do most of my stuff with reading. I'm a books girl. I like having physical copies. I also get very distracted easily with TV stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's fair.
And sometimes when people talk about, this is going to sound kind of bad, but a lot of times people who talk about these things are very monotone when they speak. And so I kind of drone them out because they just speak like this and it's very scientific. And also a lot of times with science stuff and anything academia, they use language that's not really accessible to a lot of people because they don't want to dumb it down. And sometimes we just have to dumb things down because then more people can learn about it and then their education goes up. And I just believe in education for everyone.
That's true.
So it's hard sometimes. I mean, I'm fairly intelligent and I get lost on it a lot too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it like explain the way, like when you explained it about the cherries, like that just, it makes sense.
Right.
Like, because I mean, I've heard like different theories about that, like where parallel universes and all this crazy things. I jumped into like, because I was thinking, I'm like, oh, well, it kind of matches like Stranger Things, if you guys don't watch on Netflix.
Oh, great show.
Because my theory, it's a theory, like the Upside Down is a parallel universe or maybe another world. Yeah. And then that's why it's mimicking, because it's taking the form and using memories of people to mimic ours.
Yeah. And there are so I watch Stranger Things, so that's like shows about that. I love that show.
Yeah.
I still have yet to watch the last two.
I will never spoil that show. Just know that season 5 will eventually show up in the next couple of years.
Oh, I'm so excited.
A year, 2 years. But yeah, it's They're going to do a spin-off series too.
Are they?
They announced the Duffy Brothers and Netflix are doing a spin-off.
Okay.
And I guess a lot of it will be explained in season 5.
Okay.
Of how it's going to spin off. So, because they said the show is ending in season 5. It's done.
Right, it's done.
Because they don't want to keep dragging it out. But yeah, but that's kind of my theory though, because it kind of makes sense because they open up a wormhole gateway.
Right.
To another area. Because if you're going to send someone, far away from you, well, just throw them into space, throw them into another universe, right?
Right.
Same thing in any theory, like in any sci-fi movie, like, oh, we're going to get rid of him? Well, here's a giant wormhole.
Yeah, always like the black hole or the wormhole.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, black holes are terrifying.
Yeah,
space is terrifying.
I try to learn. Yeah, I love space and I also fear it.
Yes.
Because
same thing with the ocean.
Yeah, open water and me are not
we're not friends.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I live in the desert.
You're like, I'm landlocked and I'm happy.
I did the Army for 6 years because why? It's on land. I'm I can do the air, I can do land, ocean. I like the ocean. I like going to see the ocean. I just don't like going out in the ocean.
Right.
I've been on cruise ships.
I'll wade in the water to my waist, but I'm not swimming. And I'm from Florida. I grew up going to the beach. The ocean is there, but cruise ships, absolutely not. There's no way in hell you're getting me on a cruise ship in open water. I'm too afraid, Titanic type stuff. And then what am I gonna do? Swim for safety? That's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna save me. So, yeah, I don't do open water. There's also terrifying animals.
And there's a lot more that we discover every day, too, in the ocean. We've been discovered multiple different new species. Because, we're getting technology go further and further, and we're finding things that we thought were extinct. We're finding things we never even knew existed.
Yeah.
And same with the Amazon rainforest. And now in China, actually, they found, not to caveat and crazy other things, but they found this giant sinkhole that has its own ecosystem down there that actually is plants and things that we've never seen before. They said it's millions of years. But it's a sinkhole that actually they found in China.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe it's not millions. It might be a couple 100,000.
Right.
But it is way more than 100,000. I remember that.
Well, I just saw this video or a girl talking about, and I didn't fact check it, but it was about they have a tracker on this really large shark, and it immediately dropped body temperature and depth really fast, and the only way to explain it is that something bigger ate it, but it was the biggest shark out there. So I'm what is eating that? That's terrifying. The Kraken is out there.
Yeah, we found giant squids have washed up over the years.
Gosh, I know.
Jellyfish that are huge, and they never die. They actually have no end. They actually end themselves at when they're done.
Really?
That's actually been the thing. It's I don't want to say a proven theory, but it is kind of their going theory.
Okay.
Because they live forever, they don't die.
Right.
So either they get eaten or they wash ashore. And they said it's either they just go off and end themselves at the end because they know they've lived forever.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Just like alligators live for a very long time, and crocodiles.
I love gators. Those are my favorite animal.
Yeah, I've long time ago I went to Florida. I went on the maiden voyage of the Disney Wonder back when they did the cruise liner down there. Well, they still do, but that was the first voyage of that one. But we went to Florida. We went to this gator farm. Yeah, scariest shit in the world, but it was super cool because.
Have you ever wrestled a gator?
No,
I have.
No. We were on this little I kid you not, it literally looked like just on barrels and wood, and then they had lawn chairs.
Yep.
And it's a place you actually go.
Roadside attraction.
Yeah,
Gator farm. There's one in
huge.
Colorado.
Yeah, it was huge too.
Yeah.
It was and then the engine broke on that thing.
Of course.
So then we got stuck in the water, and then they're beating this giant alligator on the side with a giant stick. Yeah.
This is so Florida.
Yeah, and
I love it.
And this was a long time ago. And ever since then, I've never been back to Florida. But
you're I'm good. There's the ocean. Hate that. Alligators. Hate that.
Yeah,
airboat rides.
I find alligators fascinating.
Yeah.
Because they're literally some of the oldest creatures in existence. They actually are still the same they just shrunk a lot more than what they used to be, but they're
Yeah.
still the same form of what they used to be back then.
Exactly.
So, and that's really interesting actually, because they haven't really evolved except for shrinking.
Yeah.
Because their food shrank.
Exactly.
So
I love alligators. My friends all call me a swamp princess. I love the swamp.
Yeah.
I grew up in the swamp. Like I said, I've wrestled alligators. We used to go canoeing and swimming with gators. Like,
how do you wrestle now? Like I've seen videos, but like how like
so
I mean,
you have to get them.
for one, you're how tall?
I'm 4'11".
Okay.
So I'm not like wrestling 6-foot gators.
Well, yeah.
But what you do is you have to get from behind them, and you kind of like your legs are on each side of them, and you have to grab them the same way you would grab like a little gecko or a lizard. You know how they have that kind of divot in the back of their head?
Okay.
So you would put your thumbs, go in the divot, and you wrap your hands around so you're like on top of them kneeling, and your hands are wrapped like under their jaw right here.
Yeah.
And you have to be on top of them because they'll death roll you if not. If you've ever seen what a death roll is,
Yeah,
in a gator, where and they spin and it'll
like
kill
all
you.
reptiles kind of do the same thing. Like
exactly.
snakes, everything all do the exact same.
They do that death roll, but yeah, so you grab them and there's like a little divot and you put your thumbs in there and you wrap your hands around their jaw and then you tape their mouth shut and that's how you trap a gator.
Damn. It's a hell of a day.
There's actually a gator rescue in Florida I want to volunteer with. I've been in contact with them, so if I ever go back, they've offered me to go help and rescue. They trap nuance gators, and then they bring them to this rescue they have instead of killing them. And so I always wanted to volunteer there and do that and trap gators. And
that's kind of cool. Yeah. The only time I've ever seen like someone, I've seen like the crazy videos on YouTube and stuff. And then like I just remember like Steve Irwin.
Yep.
Would always like, and I remember the death roll thing because it always happened, and then he'd stop them. And his son now does that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, his kids are amazing following in his footsteps.
Yeah, it's super
love that.
Cool. So we have very nerdy and super hyper intelligent. That's what she is.
I did take my SATs when I was 12, just to prove that I'm not
Very,
lying about.
very intelligent.
I'm not lying about being intelligent. I went to college when I was 15.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then before we talked, you kind of mentioned you liked anime as well.
Yes, I do. I love anime. I always liked it even when I was younger, watching stuff like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach and things like that, but it was considered, like nerdy, not cool. So you kind of like push it to the side, especially as like a girl, you're not accepted in those communities, especially when you're young, like in high school and stuff. But now it's like really cool to like anime. And I love it, and I love that there's like no more gatekeeping on it. Or I mean, of course, there's still some, but overall, like people are not gatekeeping. And I was just telling you, I just watched God Eaters, and it's really cool. It's only one season. It's really intense. It's definitely like a lot of monsters in it, and it's a really good anime. But of course, I like all of them. I like One Punch.
One Punch is
a classic. I mean, way too many episodes if we're being honest, but.
Yeah, and then there's it's One Piece as well.
Yep, One Piece.
And they're making a live action of that one too.
Yes, I'm excited. Jujutsu Kaisen, of course.
That's a good
the
one.
movie was phenomenal. Loved it.
I don't think I saw that one.
And then so I watch a lot of anime. Also, that's kind of what I watch in my spare time. It keeps my attention.
Yeah, I like Death Note. Death Note was really good.
Death Note is great. I read a lot of the mangas also. So Death Note is a great manga to read.
They're making a new live action of it now.
Are they? Another one?
So Netflix acknowledged that it was bad.
Yes, it was bad.
So, because it was their first take on live action and anime.
Yeah.
So now they're remaking it, and they brought in, going back to the earlier conversation, the Duffy brothers who made Stranger Things.
Okay.
They're going to be making that now. And they're going to be following the manga more than the anime.
Okay.
So it's a lot darker. Obviously, I know it's a lot darker.
It's a lot darker.
And they're good about staying true to more of the storyline and also giving their twist, because they're really good at giving you thriller, horror.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Okay. Well, that makes me excited.
Yeah. I read the title and I'm like, no. Please no.
Not again. Not again.
A horrible movie. And then I watched it. I'm like, okay, we're good. They're bringing in people who are actually good at it.
Yeah. Good. I'm like, because you can't butcher it twice. Well, let's hope not. At least.
I don't think they will. I think they've done great with Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think they'll do good. And then like One Piece is getting their live action. I think what is it? Dragon Ball Z. I think is getting a new. No, not Dragon Ball. I don't remember. There's a bunch of new ones that are getting live actions that are staying true to what they were.
Oh, good.
So
that's what's hard is when they start to like get away from the storyline and kind of create their own, and it's like, no, don't fix what ain't broke.
Exactly. Like just follow what the anime was.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of my favorite animes, you have like Ghost in the Shell, because it was different kind of anime.
Right.
Like even the manga was different too. Like everything was different about it because it was like futuristic and it was drawn in a way that wasn't like the rest of the animes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
The movie was kind of bad. Yeah.
Speaking of movies that are coming out, did you see that the new Avatar is coming out?
I saw that I saw that's coming out too.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, the cast looks really good too. So
It looks amazing. I mean, the first Avatar movie, even though it's from, gosh, how many years ago now? Like 10, if not more. Was an amazing movie, cinematography wise, like beautiful.
Yeah, script wasn't the greatest, but it was a good movie though. But I'm liking how they're gonna kind of get it back to newer technology, new stuff.
Exactly.
Oh wait, no, sorry, you're talking about the Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, we can talk about that also.
That one was a horrible one. No, the Avatar is one of the greatest movies. And Avatar 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
I actually put it on Avatar 1. I put it on last week here at Sagebrush, and because little Jan, she's an older woman who works here.
Yeah.
I put on things that like drive her like, oh my god, and like the whole movie she was like, oh my god, oh what, how are they doing that, like, and it's so cool to see this older woman like really like light up because she doesn't use a computer. She has a flip phone that she doesn't even use. Right.
Technology isn't her forte.
And then she gets mesmerized because like I showed her like we watched The Mandalorian one time when I was covering here.
Yep.
And she was just like she was screaming and get him, and she's like punching the side of the wall. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, she was really into it. Yeah. So, and that's the kind of movies and things that bring, and I love doing that because when I started as a film major way back in the day, that's what I loved. Oh, because when you see your audience or when you see a person and they're really into what you're watching, or when they watch it, you're
and
like,
they light up.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be such a good feeling.
Yeah. And then they have Resident Evil coming back next week. Resident Evil, the Netflix series, is coming out July 15th. So probably about, I think Friday or Thursday of next week.
I love Resident Evil.
The cast looks crazy. The sets have been really insane. Like I've seen all the pictures and stuff. So Netflix has been working on it for a while. And I mean, I didn't like where the movies went. They
got a little weird.
Yeah. The first movie, like, I wish they would have followed, like, the actual game script.
Right. And that's the thing is that it's so much different than the game script.
This one's supposed to follow the games more. Okay. So, did you play any of the games?
I try to do video games. I get so anxious if it's, like, a game I can die in. Like, I'm that person who's like, no. And I'm like button mashing. Like, I panic. I was playing, I was actually hanging out with Pantera the other day, and she plays video games, and she was playing Red Dead Redemption. Oh, yeah. And I was like trying to play it, and I was like, okay, so this is like GTA, but on horses. And I was terrible at it. Yeah. I got caught by the cops every time. Like, I got shot by like I was just not. It's not for me. This is going to be very funny and silly, but I play Zoo Tycoon at home on my Xbox. I do that and like The Sims. I'm like, those are my types of games where I'm just like building a little life, but I love Zoo Tycoon. I love building the zoo. It's such like a little kid game, but I love it. Yeah,
you should try, they have like Jurassic World Evolution too. Yeah. And you're building a zoo. Yeah. But you're building Jurassic, the second one that just came out like a few months ago. I own both of them, but you can always go back and you rebuild like certain parts in history because they have the chaos theory section now. Oh, nice. Where you go, okay, and it'll be Ian Malcolm. He'll actually explain. It's a real actor who did that.
Yeah.
And he'll explain everything and go, well, what if it didn't happen that way? And then you have to actually prevent what happened in those movies.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
like
see, that
it
sounds
goes
like
back
a
to Jurassic
game.
Park, and you go back and using 90s technology, Lost World, and then you go into Jurassic World, and you're trying to build it, and then you go into the newest Jurassic World, which I haven't seen yet, but you go into that, and you're having to actually do what they do in the movies, but try and solve the problem of it, and it got pretty hard for a while.
That sounds like a game I would like, though. That sounds like something I could do.
Yeah, as soon as you said Zoo Tycoon, I'm like, it's actually really cool. And, like, you actually, like, breed the dinosaurs. Like, you actually have hatcheries, and you can you edit the genetic code. So you can mimic and change things.
Yeah,
and
this sounds like a game
it's a super fun game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely more me. But, like...
Yeah. I sat there for, like, a week nerding out on that game.
Yeah.
Just, like, literally zoning out and doing nothing but that. And, like... I have friends who played Zoo Tycoon who converted over to that too, and they're like, "This is because you can zoom right in and watch the dinosaurs battling each other."
Oh my gosh!
You can actually see the dinosaurs eating people if you watch that too. Like if they escape, obviously, I mean, same with the zoo.
Yeah,
they escape, they can eat people.
Yep.
Except for they're just not giant dinosaurs.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. That's gonna go on my list of games because like I can't do like Call of Duty or like any of that. I'm like, give me Mario Kart. I'm good on that.
Mario Kart's good. There's a bunch of games similar to Mario Kart that you can do too. Like even golf with your friends. It's a really dumb and fun game. It's basically mini golf, and then they have like you can add on like power ups and stuff. And I always call it rage at your friends because it's the most frustrating rage-inducing game, and when you're playing with a bunch of people, your friends online, oh my god, you yell and especially if they hit your ball, even if they don't mean to, they hit your ball,
you're just yelling
and you're screaming. You're like, god damn it.
I love that. Speaking of golf, I actually recently just got back into golfing.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a new hobby of mine. I used to golf when I was like a preteen. I was never good at it, and now I'm gotten significantly better. I've found like a golf partner. It was like a mutual friend. We were all at Top Golf one time, and I was hitting, and he was like, "You're actually decent. You should golf with me sometime." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't know how to golf." And he gifted me a set of clubs, and I have pink golf balls that have gold glitter on them. Because I'm girly and I love pink, and my golf clubs are baby blue. But I've been getting into golf, so that's really fun. I enjoy that. I wish there was a Top Golf out here. And by I don't
nothing. No,
it's like
really
out in California.
Yeah, Sacramento or Roseville is the closest one. Yeah. I had to think of that for a sec. I was like, it's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah, and I did just I went to Top Golf actually for my birthday. I just celebrated my birthday in June.
Oh, happy belated birthday!
Thank you. I turned 31, so I'm up there in age. I'm kidding. I'm not old.
It's really not that old anymore.
No, it's not. 31 is a great age. I like it so far.
Yeah. There's nothing. I mean, you don't look even close to it, so it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now that we've way gone off the rails in different directions, obviously both are out there sometimes. Do you have any like parties or anything like that just jump into your mind that goes like, that's like that one memory that you're like, oh shit, or like the coolest thing, or like the wildest parties? Because I mean, we're the BunnyRanch.
Right.
We have stories from everything.
We do, and overall, I don't have a ton of crazy stories, but I do have. I mean, if you've listened to my other podcast, I have the one story where I talk about I fell off the bed while doing an activity, which was funny. But I think my craziest or wildest was my clown fetish party. So I had to dress up as a clown, which was super fun. The person just really, I think there's a name for the fetish. I don't know what it is, but he just wanted to fuck a clown. And so I dressed up as a clown and we had a lot of fun, and I would totally do it again. It's like a harmless kink. It doesn't hurt anyone.
I know. Like I'm trying to think. I'm like, because as we've said on every episode, we don't kink shame at all.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm like, because some people are terrified of clowns.
Right. I know. Most people are terrified. I will say.
I'm not terrified of clowns. I just.
It got messy in the makeup department too. So I think that played into it. Like some people really love like really messy like blowjobs where like makeup smears like
okay.
red lipstick and everything. So I think that plays part into it because it was like very messy.
Yeah.
Like lots of smearing of the makeup and everything. So I think that kind of played part into it. But it was a lot of fun and I would totally do it again. So if you have a clown fetish, come book me.
Yeah. Or if you're nerdy, I mean, think about
it.
Talk about anime, you can watch anime.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That would be like a perfect date, watching anime and then having sex.
Yeah.
Hear me out, guys. I think we're onto something.
Anime and chill?
Anime and chill, yes. Exactly.
I mean, because, why not? Well, you could even do a cosplay. There's cosplay.
I would absolutely
There's definitely some. I think I was like, what would be really fun with anime and chill? You just dress up as the characters in the movie.
Oh, I would absolutely take a costume request for an anime character because I love like Comic-Con and going and dressing up for that and everything.
I do too. Yeah, definitely. Well, Ryan, it's been a pleasure. So, how do people get a hold of you?
Okay, so the best way to get a hold of me is through email, which is ryantaylor@bunnyranch.com. Placing deposits always is best. I do tours, so I'm only here for 2 weeks at a time. Like I mentioned, I do not live here, so I do 2 weeks at a time. So it's kind of appointments are the best way to guarantee that you're going to get time with me. But yeah, email is the best way to contact me. I answer all my own emails. I try to do them in a timely manner. I get distracted a lot, but but yeah, I mean, and then you can always call the Bunny Ranch too if you needed to discuss details about a party or, if you had a question if I offer a certain party.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the best way, just email her, talk about what you want to talk about, figure out what you want to do.
Yep.
And if you have certain dates you guys are in there and she can work it in, she come on tour. And
absolutely.
That's the best part about being on tour is because you could just set a new tour date and come in at another, like, they always love it when you add more.
Yeah.
Takeaway tours, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right. No,
but when you add more tours, I know Serena gets excited.
Yeah. So for right now, my next tour dates, I'll be back in August. I think it's 12th through the 22nd or 23rd.
Sweet. Just in time for my birthday.
Perfect. We'll go celebrate.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun.
So with that, everyone, I'm James, and this is the Bunny Ranch podcast. Make sure you watch on YouTube. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the crazy podcast things. And make sure you guys email her. Talk like dirty and anime stuff. You can get really fun there.
Talk nerdy to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, have a good day, everyone. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.